Of the Committee to Reduce Infection Deaths, Dr. Betsy McCoy. All right, now I want you to explain these two big mass...
This is the House Tri-Committee bill.
All right, hang on
this is the Kennedy bill making its way through the Senate. All right.
All right, so this is the Kennedy bill over here that you got, and this is the House, the Tri-Committee
version,
bill.
Right, these are going to be melded together at some point.
But this is what Congress never reads. Okay, go ahead.
But what's really important to know about these bills is that they are not about covering the uninsured. They are about forcing everyone into budget-grade HMOs and giving government the power to limit your health care, even though you or your employer is paying for the whole plan. In both bills, in the Kennedy bill and in the House bill, Kennedy bill page 62, House bill page 37, an appointed commission will decide all the specifics, how much the plans will cost, what they will cover, but most importantly, what the limits will be on the care.
Isn't that the equivalent of Great Britain's government rationing body, or seemingly?
Certainly, in the letter of the law, it appears to be that way. And I'm particularly concerned about the role that these advisors will play. All
right, let me ask you this, because we now have a history where it doesn't matter if it's cap and trade or the stimulus bill. You know, look at the size of this thing. Literally, congressmen and senators are voting on bills that they don't read.
And they've exempted themselves and the president and federal employees.
You have read the, I guess, light Sunday reading for you, but you have read every page of both of these bills.
Yes, I have.
All right, what else have you gleaned from this that may shock the senses of the average American that maybe thinks, all right, I want the government to provide this for me?
Well, first of all, most of the spending in these bills is in the back half of each bill. It's not just to cover the uninsured. Hundreds of billions of dollars allocated to other types of programs. So when you hear the urgency of covering the uninsured, we could probably do that for between $28 and $49 billion a year, depending on the kind of coverage we offered. It doesn't have to be $1.6 trillion, and most importantly, it doesn't have to limit the care that people who already have insurance can get.
How about what I have advocated for a long time, and that's individual medical savings accounts for every individual, which would guarantee catastrophic care everyone would be in case of catastrophic illness. It would also mandate or encourage or entice people to get a checkup every year so that we can catch things earlier, which would help save in the cost of health care.
Most importantly, it would put the...
This bill could force millions of Americans to join a government-run HMO and abandon their current health care. An even more frightening aspect of the legislation is that a nameless, faceless board would decide what health benefits you are eligible to receive. This body would determine the quality of medical care that you receive in almost all areas, including both maternity and pediatric care. Democrats argue that you'll still be able to access treatment not covered under the definition of, quote, essential health benefits, but in those cases you'd be paying out of your pocket for those services. For the most part, important health care decisions will be taken away from trusted physicians and then given to a group of government bureaucrats whose mandate would be to cut costs, not to save lives. Many of President Obama's closest advisors advocate cost-cutting. Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, brother of Ram Rambo, and a healthcare policy advisor for the White House, has praised England's model of healthcare rationing. Now, in that system, doctors actually take into account the life expectancy of a patient to determine if a treatment is cost-effective. Another presidential aide, Dr. David Blumenthal, has said, quote, government controls are the proven strategy for controlling health care expenditures. So should Americans be penalized for receiving medical care they themselves deem necessary? And should the citizens of this country put their lives in the hands of an unelected board operating in the shadows? That could happen, and happen soon.
And joining me now is patient advocate and founder and chairman